On every one of our plein air painting trips, there seems to be something inspirational or a hidden gem. And in this case, we're at the Forkland Community Center with Pat Williams, who lives in Forkland and explains the museum that she's involved with, and most importantly, the history of Abraham Lincoln, his mother and his grandmother, and their roots just 3 miles down the road from where we painted. So enjoy the details from Pat and then look at our work later on in the video. Thanks for watching.
The community center in the Depression years, they built the stone gym. They mined all that limestone up on top of Mitchellsburg Knob, which is down there, and they brought it here, and it was people were envied the people that were the WPA people that did it, because they were making 30 cents a day or something. Most of the people were farmers and they weren't making anything. And it was a school. It went from 6th grade through senior high, and it was a good school. They did a lot of stuff. And then in 1971, the schools consolidated again, and they moved them to Danville. And so the community, the people that lived here, they had actually paid for the school in the first place. They had put extra taxes on it, and then they bought it again. It was pretty cheap, but it was, it wasn't exact, and turned it into a community center. People around here pledged money to do it. And since then, we've had we had make money because it's all volunteer work. So we had a festival. It was one of the first festivals around, really, 50 years. And every year since when we had that, and since they did that 1974, they did that log cabin and the picnic shelter and all this stuff. Then we have all kinds of other things here. Abraham Lincoln's grandmother. Okay, I don't know how much you know about Abraham Lincoln, but
Quite a bit.
Okay, there was all kinds of controversy about Nancy Hanks, whether she was illegitimate and who she was born with, and there's still controversy, but we think we know. Okay, and there was this woman named Lucy Hanks. Well, we think she was a Shipley. Shipleys came in from Virginia, and this is the least well-known part. There was a guy named James Hanks that we think she married back there, and then he died. We don't know. That's the most speculation. They had Nancy, and then when Nancy was about 8 or 9, they moved here, and she came at the same time as her sisters, who were also Shipleys, and Nancy ended up living with the Berries, who was daughter. Okay, and then Lucy married a guy named Henry Sparrow and lived about 3 or 4 miles down that way on Scrubgrass, and had 8 more kids. And some of them stayed around here and had more kids, and there was a lot of people around here that are related to Lincoln through that.
Now, Lincoln's mother was Nancy. And Nancy's mother
was Lucy.
And lived here.
Yes, lived here. And that wasn't accepted for a long time, but that's pretty well accepted by any of the current historians, though they will not say how Nancy got the last name Hanks and if Lucy was married before. They don't know who the father was.
Well, and over in Springfield is where there are journals and details about Abe, 3 years old, legs dangling off the back of the wagon when they pulled away, when they left for Illinois. But he was definitely...
Oh, he was older than that.
Springfield and Washington County.
He was older than that. He was like 8 or 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there was some journal entry or whatever about his legs dangling from the back of the wagon as he rode off.
Yeah, Nancy, his mother, lived in Springfield with her aunt, the Berries. And that's where she met her husband and got married and stuff. But
and so your museum actually has Lincoln's name in it. The full name of the museum is
Forkland Community Center Lincoln Museum.
Yep.
But we got a lot of Lincoln stuff in there. Some of it's pretty neat. But we also have all kinds of other stuff from around here.
I want to see what you got. Hold it up.
She asked me to come back and show it.
Hey, I'm ready. I'm shooting video here.
Well, anyway,
that's nice.
I wanted you to see if let me get my hair down. 50.
That looks like
is it 50%? So I know the
you're 50%
restriction. That 50%. Okay.
Did you? Is that acrylic again?
Acrylic
like the last time? Did you
yeah.
start out with your black and white value
No.
study? Oh, you
No,
went straight into color.
Let me correct myself. I actually did, because I usually start out with something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I threw in some green too, so it was a real dark
Yeah.
green value, and went from there. But yeah, I was trying to get at least the lights and the darks, so, in some type of composition. So that's where I am right now, and it'll look lots different.
Well, you could put it
probably.
in the show.
There were a lot of views to choose from here at the Forkland Community Center. The log cabin, a couple of people did. But that knob to the right and the ivy on the silo and then the farmhouse peeking through the trees there, that's what caught my eye. And so that's where three of us, including me, set up to do our painting. I returned to pastels again. This is my second plein air painting with pastels. You'll see me starting to block in. First I did a pencil sketch for just the general dimensions and placement of the items, and then I began to lay in the gouache underpainting, and that is done for all the masses and main tones. You'll see that come along at gouache, and then I save the icing on the cake for the pastel at the end for the highlights. I wiped out everything on that porch after our lunch break. We all got together at a picnic shelter in the shade, had a good time having our packed lunches together, and had fiddled around with that porch and wiped it out, and instantly it was better. I just did tiny little details and suggestions of windows and doors, and there's the finale. There's the other artist who sat up near that area, Debbie Wyndham and Tammy Lair, and I'll give you a glimpse of what they were working on. It was a nice day. Any day you're out painting is a nice day. So, hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you enjoy that history of Abraham Lincoln's family ties just 3 miles down this road.